Well, good morning, everybody. Here we're on Thursday morning, the day after a fantastic prayer meeting last night. Love it when we get together and the presence of the Lord just is evident. Let's put it that way, is evident. It's going to be a hot next few days. It's summer. We're not going to complain about it. No way. So we're reading through, again, the stories of the kings, and one of the things we conclude from today is that it was a dangerous thing to be a member of the royal family, and it really depended on who you had around you, whether it was ungodly or godly folks that were looking out for you. And we saw a case of the elders that were raising the king's sons, and there was the king was disposed of, and then the elders of the city were threatened, and they were afraid. So instead of doing what was right, now we know that this was all God's plan. He knew the hearts of these people, and he knew it wouldn't take much for them to not stand by their responsibility. And so they were threatened, and they killed all 70 sons of the king to save their own lives. But then we have over in Judah, where again the king is dead, and this time it's the mom that takes over, and she kills her own grandchildren. She wipes out her own grandchildren. But the sister of the king grabs one of her nephews and saves him, and hides him away in the temple. Her husband protects him in the temple for 7 years until he's crowned as king. So your survival rate depended on who was around you and what kind of character that they had. How do we relate that to today? Well, in many cases, the church is supposed to be the ones who do the protecting, the ones who do the fighting, the ones who are there to look after those who can't look after themselves, to fight, spiritually fight for those who can't fight for themselves, who don't know how to, who aren't even aware of the dangers that are around them. And a child isn't aware, and there's a lot of people in the church that are like children. They're not aware of the dangers that surround them. And unfortunately, lots of the church are just, they don't know their responsibility. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to protect. And they're more concerned about their own preservation than they are the preservation of the young ones, of those who can't look after themselves. So prophetically speaking here, we're taking something from the Old Testament and we're applying now, because there's an unawareness. And in our tribe, we've become aware, and we can't sit back anymore. We can't sit back and let somebody else do the fighting. It's our responsibility. When the enemy is calling for the heads of the sons, we stand and we say, I will lay down my life for the protection of this child. We step in and we say, you cannot have this one. You cannot have this one. And there are going to be things that go against you. There are going to be things where you don't like that person, or you don't agree with them, or you think they messed up and they deserve what they're getting, and you can't, because those are the thoughts of the enemy, and you've got to be willing to throw those off and say no to myself. I'm saying no to myself. I'm taking up my cross, following Jesus. I'm fighting for those who can't fight for themselves. And that's what it's all about. That's what the church is all about, fighting for those who can't fight for themselves. Yes, we're developing, we're growing, and that's fantastic that we get all that out of the church. But we're warriors, we're participating, we're fighting. I grow all the time. As I get together with my brothers and sisters, I'm growing, I'm learning from you. I'm learning from my studies, I'm learning. I never stop learning, I never stop growing. But that learning is useless unless I'm going to do something with it. And I'm learning to know how to be a better warrior, how to be a better co-laborer with Jesus Christ in this world. So, yep, that's interesting coming out of that reading, isn't it? So you have a fantastic, wonderful, blessed day, and we'll see you all soon. Love you.